Kevin, come on up here. What's your department? You want to join us up here? You can if you want. Okay. Is everybody here who we expected to be here? Okay. All right. Is this working okay? Microphone? Okay.
Yeah, it's connected on the TV.
Oh, it's connected directly to the cameras. Okay, wonderful. Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here on short notice. I'm really excited to talk to you today. Just a few weeks ago, I announced my proposed 2025-26 budget. That budget is a steady, financially responsible budget that supports essential city services that Knoxvillians rely on. But it is no secret that we had more than $70 million in infrastructure budget requests that won't be funded. These are things like road projects, traffic calming applications, sidewalks, greenways, and improvements to aging city properties. However, we have an extraordinary opportunity to tackle more needs in our city and complete projects that would normally take 20 years in about 5 years. As your mayor, I'm committed to being a good steward of taxpayer dollars. That includes fixing things before they become unfixable and paving a path for the future. Right now, more people are moving here, the number of visitors is skyrocketing, and our infrastructure is being pushed to its limits. Most communities in Tennessee, including 5 neighboring counties, have already optimized their local option sales tax over the past few decades to generate much-needed local dollars. I want to give Knoxville residents the same choice. I invited you all here today to let you know that I will be asking City Council to fund neighborhood improvements across the city via a half-cent local option sales tax increase. If Council approves, these neighborhood investments will be on the November ballot for the people of our city to decide. Why am I proposing this? To ensure the high quality of life Knoxvillians deserve for generations to come. The estimated $47 million generated from this change will bring much-needed neighborhood improvements across our city. And as you can see from that diagram, this would mean more sidewalks and street paving, more traffic calming and greenways, more investments in parks and city facilities, and more affordable housing. This also means that everyone who spends money in our city, not just those who live here, will now be contributing to the services that residents and visitors rely on. With so much uncertainty right now, it is more important than ever that we take action to generate local dollars with local control for local projects. I thought long and hard about the impact this would have on families. That is why I made the decision that groceries, which are often a family's biggest expense, will be excluded from this additional tax. I also want to note that other significant household expenses like baby formula, diapers, rent, gas, utilities will not be affected by this half-cent sales tax. I know often the first question is, how will this impact your bottom line, the people of Knoxville? So before I take any questions, I want to break down a few examples for you. This half-cent increase on the local option sales tax would mean a 5-cent increase on a 12-pack of toilet paper, 5 cents. It would mean an extra 7 cents on over-the-counter cold medication. It would mean an extra 13 cents on a t-shirt. I've requested a workshop for City Council so we can take a deeper dive into this proposal. We also have a webpage with lots of additional resources and FAQs. You can go to knoxvilletn.gov/local option to learn more. If Knoxville voters say yes to these neighborhood improvements, we would use the same website to keep the public informed about how their taxpayer dollars are being spent. So right now, the first step is a council workshop. We're going to be asking council to put this on the ballot in November. After that, Knoxville voters will decide if we are going to generate more local dollars with local control for local impact. Now, I'll take a few questions. Yes, Ally?
Hi. A lot of the ways that you mentioned that you would spend the money on, and those concerns were there when the budget was being crafted and pitched. So what changed between when the budget was rolled out and now as you're making this announcement?
Nothing has changed. Every year I've been mayor, and I know for many administrations in the past, the needs of the city of Knoxville are up here, and the available revenues are less than that. And so this is an opportunity we have to ask the voters, are you willing to add this half cent to the sales tax, which is paid by, we think, at least 50% of sales tax revenues generated by people who do not live inside the city, to better meet those needs for things that everyday people use and want more of: sidewalks, greenways, parks, affordable housing. So nothing has changed, but this is just an opportunity to better meet those needs.
And just to follow up, so during the budget rollout, it was announced that there wouldn't be a property tax increase, and obviously that is still true, but why wasn't the sales tax increase announced then?
Well, the sales tax requires a voter referendum, and a property tax requires a vote of city council. So this would not impact the property tax. In fact, it prevents us from having to consider another property tax. This sales tax would be the equivalent of another 60-cent increase to Knoxville City property taxpayers. And to me, it's important that we ask everybody who shops in Knoxville, including tourists and visitors and other people who use our services, who enjoy our parks and our sidewalks and all the other amenities, to contribute at a greater level. Any other questions?
I've got another one.
Okay.
Who else in the area did you consult with before kind of coming up with this plan? We know that this could have an impact on the county as well.
Yeah, well, we've talked to several, obviously some city council members. I've started having conversations with them, and some other folks as well. But we're looking forward to bringing this to the voters, and obviously first city council, and then to the voters of the city of Knoxville. Yeah.
Yes, so you're going to bring this up to the city council to be able to be put on the ballot in November. So what happens if the voters vote against this? Do you have a backup plan to make these projects happen?
Well, the plan is that we would continue, all of these buckets that you see, what's the money for, those are all things that our budget already funds. But we fund it, so for example, paving, right? The budget that council will vote on second reading on Tuesday includes $9 million for paving. And we have an annual paving plan that promises to do X number of miles in every part of the city every year. But if this passes, we could add several $1 million to that bucket of investments. So it would just hasten our ability to do more projects faster and to keep up with the growing demands of a growing city.
Stepping back a little bit, big picture wise, sales taxes are generally considered regressive sales taxes. Property taxes are more wealth tax, so why not just raise property tax? That would be.
Well, that's a good question. I think one thing is that we are behind most of our neighbors. Most of the surrounding counties, not just here in East Tennessee, but across the state, have already gone to the maximum local option sales tax, which is what I'm proposing for Knoxville voters to consider. And so it's there. It's a possible source of revenue for us. It's also, when I think, Sevier County, how many people take an opportunity to go shop at Tanger outlets or wherever you might shop in Blount County, Sevier County. You go there, you're already paying this higher local option sales tax to help the infrastructure in our neighboring counties. Why not give Knoxville residents that same opportunity? And as far as it being regressive, that's exactly why I carved out food. People are already worried about the cost of eggs, milk, bread, and this would not increase the cost of food, groceries, as defined by the state of Tennessee. That's not a definition of mine or the city of Knoxville, but the state of Tennessee defines groceries, and this would not impact the cost of groceries.
within the buckets that you've laid out,
Mm-hmm.
how is the city going to determine which projects get funding, or is there have you talked about a plan?
Yeah, well, luckily, for many years, the city has developed plans with a lot of input from the community. We have a sidewalk plan, we have a bike and pedestrian infrastructure plan, we are in the process of a parks master plan, and all of that has set forward all these plans, but not enough money to execute the plans. So we're going to take the plans that we already have developed with years of input from the community. We're going to have discussions with council, and then have more specifics by the time people are voting on it, so they'll know exactly what it'll mean for their neighborhood. And then once it passes, we will do at least annual updates so people know how the progress we're making. How are these tax dollars being spent? Are these things that we said we would happen in year one? We're going to say we'll break ground in year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, and have a whole 5-year plan, and people can follow our progress.
Any other questions?
Any other questions? Okay. Well, please look forward to the discussion with council and then discussion with the community, and hopefully everyone will vote yes in November. Thank you.
Well, that's why I'm taking it.